All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm Keith McGuire. Mark's, I'm not sure where Mark is. He seems to be in a dark, cave-like location. Anyway, we're continuing something we started earlier. It's birch trees and rocks. Today we're going to work on the rocks, and that'll kind of conclude this demonstration. So,
Real quick, in the description is a link to download and print out this drawing, the black and white line. So if you want to follow along, as well as the link to the first video if you didn't see it and you want to see how the birch trees were drawn and painted.
yeah, do that.
Always look in the description.
Anyway, so this thing was to do a little bit of a close-up on the birch trees and then a little bit of a close-up on some rock-like material. Could be like cliff flace, yeah.
Cliff flaces.
Anyway, we'll work on that. But big chunks of rock with some good wear, fracture in it a little bit. So, you know, these aren't little river rocks, okay? These aren't happy little round things. And the big trick to that is making sure you get some, oh crap. Hang on. You're going to have to edit. What are those called? God, I've got Alzheimer's. I'm sure I do. Facets. Is there a better word for that?
Maybe, but I can't think of it.
Yeah. Let me just start over, okay?
Sure.
All right, thanks.
Take two!
All right. Hi, everybody. Keith here. Mark's behind the camera and keeping an eye on me, keeping me honest. We are doing part two of a little lesson on birch trees and rocks. I like doing these because they're great foreground material. So, you know, you want to be able to do some close-up stuff and have a little detail to it and still make it feel like a watercolor. All right. So we are going to continue with the rocks now. So I'm gonna wet one right now. So first, I want to add some color to these things. I'm going to go with a kind of a grayish palette because mostly I'm boring. So, you know, shirt, you know, furniture is all black and white. So, but you can use other colors. I used to live in Texas. They had the most beautiful pink granite where I lived. All right, I'm going to try.
Did they have birch trees?
No, they had great white oaks I think, or great oaks, great old oaks. Oh my God. They only get about 20 feet tall, but they would go like 500 feet out. They had the longest branches of anything realistic. So I'm going to use a little bit of ultramarine blue. This is going to be kind of like my light base coat. And believe it or not, I'm going to grab just a little bit of yellow ochre. Now, you would think that would turn it green, but oh my goodness, check that out. There is something, I don't know what it is about the magical powers of ultramarine blue, but it doesn't change like yellow doesn't affect it. It has powers to meld with every other color, and you'd be surprised with what you get. So I'm just going to drop some of this in here. Oops, wrong place.
Wrong rock, wrong rock.
That's the nice thing about rocks, you can just kind of fake it. Now I like to leave a little light here and there, maybe not fill in every bit of it. So you can see that becomes a facet or a chunk of light or something that's going to break this rock up. Like I said, we're kind of doing foreground, okay? So as a matter of fact, I'm going to grab out a lot more paint. Because I'm going to be doing rocks and facets and all kind of stuff. All right. So I'm going going to come back here with a little darker value. It's almost like negative painting. So you got that foreground rock, and then I got this next rock behind it. Negative painting. You can do negative painting wet. It's amazing. So again, I'm going to leave things, maybe a little bit of light there, so that I can come in and, what the heck? So right now, these back rocks, what I've been doing is kind of dry brushing it. Just getting the paint on real quick. Now it's pretty wet and it's got a lot of water in it. But as you can see, now I will take my wet brush, kind of blend it up a little bit, and voila. So, like I said, using kind of a negative painting approach, so we're not blending everything together all at once. Now I can keep doing this all the way around. I think I will, actually. But what I am going to be doing is adding, other color to generate a little more color to this. They are gray, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. All gray all the time. Or somebody piled up a bunch of old snow.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. All right. All right.
All right, lesson's
So, like
over.
I said, say what?
Said okay, lesson's over. Rocks are painted.
Yeah. See ya. It's Miller time. So, as you can see, I leave the light kind of on top, so you can. We can always add color. You can't always take it away. So I leave a little light on the top. So I think we got just about everybody. All right. And we're out of paint. Good night.
Yay. Wait, what?
I do love ultramarine blue. That and the grains of the, whatever ultramarine is, the texture. It has a large grain, and it sinks into good paper, like Arches, 140 cold press, plug.
Not a sponsor. Still waiting on that.
No. I make people that take my classes use this paper. It's just too darn good to not use. It's great for everybody. Anyway, I forgot the point I was going to make. We'll just keep painting like nothing happened. All right.
It's a cliffhanger.
We can look back. We can re-record. What was he talking about? We don't know. All right. So I'm going to let that set up a little bit here. Oh, the grain of ultramarine blue. It's great for rock, Now, some people, they'll take little brushes and they can spray it and stuff like that. I think if you're pretty close, when I say brushes, like toothbrushes, that kind of thing, if you are very close, then yeah, I'd give a few and practice it, take it off somewhere until you actually get confident doing that. And then I think, other than that, if you're like where I'm at about this size, I would just go with color. I wouldn't go with you know, you can use line work and you can use color, but I wouldn't go with the spray thing. I think it gets old quick. Anyway, all right. So I think, yeah, I think we're pretty dry here and there. So what I want to do is I want to add another color to this. I want to kind of change it up a little bit. Like I said, I don't want it to all be quite the same color. Let's see what I got. I'm thinking, I'm trying to brown it up a little bit. Because God knows, we don't want it to be pretty. I'm not about that. So, all right, I'm going to try this. Now, basically what I'm doing is I'm just going to start creating facets of color. And again, what I'm doing, I'm trying to kind of follow the rock a little bit. But what I'm trying to do is create these facets, these little shadows in the rock. And that's what kind of gives it its texture. What's going to happen is we're going to put an overlaying color over the top of everything. And what will happen is it'll kind of all draw together then. So it won't be like a bunch of little facets. It'll look like a rock with a lumpy rock. How's that? So again, kind of a little bit of negative painting. Notice how I'm using kind of like the side of my brush, creating squarish kind of facets. It's just easier. All right, where'd you go?
I'm lost in the facets.
Yeah. All right, giving a little more shadow back here. Which is nice because it'll make the birch tree pop out a little bit better. I say more.
So I got a technique question I'm curious on.
Yeah.
So I watch occasionally, and when you pull new color out of your cubes, your swatches, I don't.
Yeah, your tray, whatever.
Your tray. Sometimes you don't clean the brush and you leave remnants of other colors in. Like I can see in your burnt sienna, there's some ultramarine blue in there. Now you're not worried that that's gonna screw you up at a later time?
I kind of keep an eye on it, and although it looks dark on the camera, it ain't that dark, and you can see. Like if it's too polluted, like if I need, a color or a color, you can just kind of take your brush, clean it a little bit, and wipe out, and start fresh. Okay, but a lot of times, a lot of these colors I use together most of the time. So I just leave it there and I'll just kind of scoop it up as I go. So like I said, you can have two different colors in your brush at once and not be mixed together. And I like that, you know? So yeah, it is kind of weird that you would notice that, but so now we have to kill you. He has discovered our secret.
Yeah, it's the joys of watching you paint for hundreds of hours on end.
Make it stop. Anyway, but yeah, you kind of saw that. But yeah, it's amazing. If you ever see a watercolorist tray, they usually don't look that good. I like wash mine all the time because I'm I'm nuts. But yeah. All right, I'm coming in with a little bit of value back here. I'm going to clean it up. What no one can see is I wipe my brushes on my pants. All right. Now let it see, it's still wet. I let it kind of bleed out a little bit. I'm going to come over here, kind of fill that in.
I'm just glad to hear you have pants on.
I'm not getting up, but you never know. All right, so at this point, like I said, I've got a lot of facets going. Now I want to kind of really pick my shadows. So I'm going to kind of come in down low. Now I put a little indigo into this for the shadow. I'm not that thrilled. So I'm going to try to put a little bit of cad red in with the indigo again. Trying to get a kind of a grayish brown that isn't too yucky. Another technical term. I don't want to do this. I have a text message.
Must be nice to be popular.
I think it's usually Joanne Fabrics. There you go. I think it's nice that Joanne Fabrics every Sunday morning, like clockwork, calls me and lets me know that I have an opportunity to save up to 70% on crafts.
Get your coupon, 50% off one item.
No.
And every item you want's already on sale, so you can't use the coupon.
So, as you can see, I'm kind of hitting it here and there. I would probably take a few more steps doing this. Maybe go a little bit slower and add the values maybe a little slower. But I don't think you want to watch 8 hours of this. So I think what I'm going to do at this point is kind of show you the last bit of what I do to make the rocks really have a little character. And again, for me, it usually involves a really nice pointy brush, you know?
Yay!
So, are you surprised? All right. So, at this point, the last thing I put in, it's not dead last, but you'll get the idea, is I want to put a little cracks and, flaws in the surface. So, and I'll show you a couple different things, but what I like is with that fine line, I can really, and you can take it right to nothing. So you don't want to outline. Notice I lined this section right there, right? But I didn't here or here. What you don't want to do is do like a full outline around every crack and nook and cranny. You want to leave some of it just to color. Okay, now here's what I like to do. I like to come in on one side of these little lines and just kind of pull some of it down and away. And as you can see, I take a little bit of water and just kind of soften these cracks a little bit so they're not quite as cracky. Oh no. I do like putting like little bits of color, dirt, whatever. All right. I don't know if you can see me. I think I gotta turn it over. Yeah. So as you can see, I can take a fine line through a wet area and it'll blur away. So, and then you'll hit a little dry area and it makes for kind of really nice, fun line work that isn't all one thing. You can see I'm breaking this up a little bit with some line work, but I'm not going to leave it like that. Usually I'll come in and just break it up a little bit of water. And I like the line work, but I also like I don't want it to be extremely obvious. All right. The other thing I like to do is create stratas. Then you just come in and kind of fill it in a little bit. All right. Again, going through very wet areas, anything I put down is gonna just kind of move. And what I do is I let that happen and let's see what happens. If I like it, I keep them. If I don't, I just kind of take a brush over them a little bit, soften them up. But this is, you can paint everything, or like I said, you can take a little bit of water and let the water do the work. I think we lost Mark. Are you on the floor? Yeah, I just looked up. I'm going to look up one of these times. There'll be a sign there.
Back in 15?
Yeah, back when this video's over. All right. So as you get farther back, you don't want as much detail, okay? So I'm gonna leave the stuff in the back. It'll have some line work, but it's not going to be a lot. And if it is, it's going to be very soft line work. So, as a matter of fact, I think I got enough up front here to maybe zip to the back there a little. Yeah. So, like I said, maybe just come in with a little line work. Treat it like negative painting here. So the layer in back gets dark. Then I'll take some of this paint. So if it's a fine line, it's a dry line, obviously. If it's a big, soft, wet line, then I have wetted the area. But I think it's, I'll go back in and I'll just kind of add a little color here and there just to break it up a little bit so it has different bits of color.
What about the spot between the trees?
That's like a magic void there. Because I don't know where that came from. Looks like it just appeared, right? Yeah. So I'm going to let that set up. So what do you think? Do I got to finish the whole thing?
No, I think you get the point.
Okay. Like I said, working dry and wet. You can really have some fun doing this. Especially dragging, like I said, a fine brush through wet areas and letting it kind of explode. That's kind of how we did the color values on the birches. So anyway, but I could spend, another hour doing this, and I don't think anyone needs to see that. I think that's enough maybe to get you started. So, just a couple areas. All right, one thing though. Not leaving it like this. So I'm watching here. I need to kind of break this up. There. That actually helps the tree pop out a little bit better. Anyway, there we go. So, Mr. Hicks, thanks for sticking around. And anything else? Yeah, stop.
What's that? Huh?
It was titillating art at its most grayest,
I'm going to have to start following along, I think.
That would be good.
Then I can stop you and be like, does that look right? Did I do it right?
I'll tell you what, I think in the finish, I will finish the scene, okay? So when you look on the front cover of the YouTube, yeah, you'll be able to see it, okay? That way you can kind of see how far I take it. So I'm going to say thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mark. And until next time, aloha.
Bye. Check the description for all kinds of stuff.